This video is brought to you by the letter S.
Hey, this is Alex and I'm good at games. Do you have $1? Are you alive? Well, good job, you qualify to play Toree 3D on Nintendo Switch. But the real question is, should you? And the real answer is me telling you these words now. Toree 3D is a super short and sweet 3D platformer made to look like the low poly classics of old. You play as this little baby chick wearing a backpack that's probably full of cool things, like cigars, or malaria. And if you weren't sold already, he's also wearing a hot pair of shades. If I weren't already attracted to small animals, Now the controls are pretty complicated, so I'll try and break it down for you nice and simple. You can run and jump. But here's the tricky part. If you jump again while in the middle of your first jump, you can do a second jump in the air to gain additional height. Let's call it a twice jump. It's easier than it sounds. Your goal is to use this robust arsenal of abilities to run and twice jump your way across 9 stages full of wacky enemies and obstacles. The game's biggest strength is that it just feels fun to play. Everything controls nice and tight, and the way Toree squashes and stretches like a bouncy boneless chicken is a delight to behold. Level design is generally pretty good, with a big focus on speedrunning through stages to earn a high rank. There are a couple of weirdly paced segments, and I would have appreciated more variety and hazards. But overall, there's a good sense of funky flow here. And it just wouldn't be a 3D platformer without a heaping spoonful of shiny rotating objects to collect, that are also constantly staring at you. Fortunately, they aren't too hard to find, and act more like breadcrumbs to guide you along each level. I've always been a big supporter of chunky N64 era 3D visuals, and this game does a great job of recreating that vibe, from the pixelated textures to the extremely uncomfortable enemy designs. It somehow manages to feel nostalgic even though it's freshly hatched. And even if the music doesn't exactly sound the part all the time, I still typically enjoyed what's there. While there aren't really any cutscenes per se, there is a subtle Kirby type narrative about stolen ice cream that's sure to make you question everything you knew about video games as a storytelling medium. And also, like Kirby, the game incorporates a few elements that are darker than you would expect from such a cute looking game. Unfortunately, these elements aren't really fleshed out, and the game ends kind of suddenly, without any sort of boss fight or satisfying final encounter. Not to spoil anything, but the ice cream is just kinda sitting there on the floor at the end. At least it didn't melt. Like I said, the experience is also extremely short, probably less than an hour. There are 2 unlockable characters obtained by mastering every level, but even going for 100%, you probably won't hit the 2-hour mark. And for a $1 game, that's absolutely fine. I mean, $1 per hour of entertainment is more than I get for most games. Toree 3D isn't going to win any awards, but it's still a fun diversion from your stupid boring life. It's basically the video game equivalent of a bag of chips. A pretty good flavor of chips, like nacho blueberry or spicy carpet. It doesn't last very long, but it was cheap and it made me happy until it didn't. That's why I'm giving Toree 3D a C+. If you've ever bought anything on the eShop before, you can probably already get it for free by using your Nintendo pennies. Or you could spend 10 times as much on a calculator. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next video.